All right, welcome back to hour number 2, the Tony and Dwight Show, brought to you by the Kentucky Office of Highway Safety. I'm Tony Finetti. He is Dwight Witten, and this hour we're going to tell a couple stories.
Yeah, we are. 1, 2, 3, 4. I love Marine Corps. Bryan Cox, how you doing, my friend? Been in. You're a Marine. 22. You served 22 years. Deployed 9 times. 7 out of the 9 times it was for combat.
Yes, sir.
And now you're here. You don't call me sir. I work for a living. But how would I be for?
That's it.
2 questions. Number 1, is it cool for me to say Semper Fi, or should you just be a Marine when you say Semper Fi?
No, you can say it. You can say it.
Number 2, when you got to Paris Island and you start getting off the bus, be honest, did you start second guessing your decision and wondering what you've done?
Absolutely. It was in the middle of the night, and you don't realize that you're right on the main road. So you could have really walked off the base, but they don't let you in on that. They kind of drive you around and get you lost.
I want to jump into a story that we all are familiar with. It was a national story. Heck, I remember Bob Knight was commenting on it, that he was, remember when Jessica Lynch got captured, he was saying he heard that she had unloaded her she had no ammo left.
Let's talk about that. 2003, I believe there's 11 POWs taken.
Her position was overrun. Is that accurate?
Nobody really knows.
Right.
Okay.
I don't know what happened that got him captured.
Okay, got you. Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
Wasn't there.
But out of the 11, the rest of them are killed brutally.
So the brief we got, there was 11 total. She was the only one that was left alive. They took the rest of them. They beheaded them, whatever it is. Took their head off.
They were all service.
They were all
Oh
Army.
my gosh!
Yep.
Okay.
They were all part of the same convoy.
Oh my gosh! Yeah.
And they buried them in these shallow graves outside of Ad Nazaria. We launched off the boat, the USS Boxer, flew to an airport called, and I think it was Talil. I mean, that's been 15, 16 years now. I'm pretty positive it was Talil. We had my helicopter, CH-53. We had 3 of them. We had CH-46 Frogs. We had UH-60 Blackhawks, OH-58 Little Birds, Delta Force, Navy SEALs, Harrier jets, Marine ground forces. It was a total joint operation.
Okay, wait a minute. You knew where she was.
They had got the intel that she was in the hospital.
Okay.
So we go to this airbase, this Talil airport, and we go to this hasty put together brief by the Army about we're going to go get this girl.
We're going to get her.
Yeah, we're going to go get her. There was a diversionary attack on this side of the town to kind of draw their forces that way. Mm-hmm. We came in this way. I had Rangers and the digging team on my helicopter.
Okay, you're saying digging team because you were taking bodies back.
They were going.
You're bringing them home.
Yep. So we go in, we drop everybody off, we hightail it out of there. We go back to Talil and wait for them to do their work. The OH-58s were able to land on the hospital with Delta Force, who actually went in and put hands on her and got her out. And then we went back to pick up the rest of the troops. So my helicopter is basically heavy lift. Troop transport and heavy lift. It's the largest helicopter in the U.S. military.
And she, if I recollect, she was a mess.
I'm sure she still is.
Yeah.
I would be.
Well, she was a physical mess. I thought she had broken bones.
Yeah, gunshot wound to the leg.
Gunshot wound to the leg. That when they got to her, she was
a wreck.
She was a wreck. Mm-hmm. So you went at the Delta Force is the one that actually got hands on with her. Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So then we went back in to pick everybody up, and then got out of there. Probably the biggest thing that stands out to me is on exiting the landing zone that time, between me and the helicopter in front of me, an RPG right in between us.
Right.
Wow.
And we were, 50, 60 yards apart, not very far. Mm-hmm. And you see this blazing firework. You kind of get the pucker factor.
If that hits you, you're done. The whole, or is those things pretty tough?
Kind of depends on where
it hits?
Yeah. And the only reason I know that is because we had a plane get hit by one in Afghanistan in 2010-11, and they were actually able to fly the helicopter back. It suffered damage, but it hit right under the wheel well. Anyway, so yeah, this big firework goes in between us, and we get low and fast and get out of there, and there's power lines that you have to be aware of. And you're on night vision goggles. It's dark. It's dusty. It's crazy. Like you don't. Yeah, it's 2003, so I was 28. And we get back and we find out that she had been rescued. I think there was one ground troop that either sprained his ankle or broke his ankle or something kind of minor in the grand scheme of things. That was the only casualty that we took as a joint force. So I think that was a real turning point in that Operation Iraqi Freedom for that early into it, was to go in and execute something
as flawless as that.
Yeah, pretty much.
And get her out. I know it was just a huge, huge story nationwide. So you're over there, you don't know. But everyone in this room knew it, right? I mean, everybody knew about Jessica Lynch. It was a huge lead story for a long time. And the fact that you all went in there and got her out was so overwhelmed. Everyone was, we didn't know her, but we knew that was a success, and that you went in and got her was just almost emotional for people. It was really cool.
It was. When we got back to the ship, I remember standing in line because we were just hoping to make it back for breakfast, because you only got certain times to eat when you're on the ship. So,
RPG almost hit you. You're thinking, I'm not going to get my biscuit.
Bacon and eggs.
Well, yeah, and it's pretty funny. I got a lot of friends and family that are listening now, and they probably won't argue with the fact that when it's time to eat, I eat like a champion. But we're standing in line, and they were showing something on the closed caption TV on the ship, and there's a sailor standing in line before me. And, I still had my gear on, my flight gear. We literally shut the planes down and ran to the mess deck.
Right.
And he was like, dude, was that you guys? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, bro, go ahead of me.
Right.
You guys are rock stars. And I was like, you really don't realize how big it's going to turn out. At that time, I was still kind of in a daze about what just happened. It happened so quickly, you really don't know. I kind of think back to all these days in Yuma, Arizona, and 29 Palms, California, and Camp Pendleton, where we would take the helicopter out every night and just practice landing in the dirt. 5 this way, 5 that way, change lead, 5 this way, 5 that way, and it was so boring, and I just hated it. But when you go and do it for real, it really makes sense. Oh wow, we train to fight.
So it's a muscle memory thing. Then you got to do exactly what you were trained, and I guess did it,
and it works.
Okay.
Yeah.
And again, I don't know if the movies are accurate, but I watched the Zero Dark 30, and on the way out, well, they all said they didn't think they were coming back. They thought it's going to be booby trapped and they're going to blow us all up. So they figured we're not coming back. But the scene that got me was, they're midway through, and he goes flying out there, and he goes, who's been in a helo crash? And every single person in the helicopter raised their hand, and it says, we've been here before, let's go. And it's amazing how many times those things fall out of the sky, too.
Yeah. Between mechanical, human error, and just sheer bad luck, stuff happens. And then when you add that with flying in a place where you are not familiar with, and it's dark, and they don't have street lights everywhere like we do. I mean, it's dark.
Right.
It's like dark. Then you add the dust, and just the sheer fact that anybody that I think that would ever tell you that they did this and did that and they weren't scared is full of it.
Tony and Dwight on News Radio 840 WHAS.